If you recall, what did Bola Ahmed Tinubu do? He raised his IGR. I think it had to do with the issue of the local governments when he divided the local governments up into local government development agencies and things. And President Obasanjo at the time proclaimed it to be some kind of illegality, and he held back local government funds. What Lagos State did was to dig deep and raise its own internally generated revenue. They found creative and effective ways of doing that. And if you look at Lagos State's internally generated revenue over the last 20 years, it's gone up more than 1,000 fold. And so that's the kind of thing we will do in Edo State.
Asue Ighodalo, the governorship candidate of the PDP in the upcoming Edo governorship election, speaking in an X-Space where he spoke on many issues. The problem is not implementing what Tinubu and other governors implemented in Lagos. Their IGR is up, they collect billions and billions of naira every year. The major issue is the level of development in Lagos commensurate to the billions of naira they collect in taxes annually. To whom much is given, much is expected. Nigerian politicians always like to start out IGR, trying to generate more money, but they can never account for the little that is generated already. And going by Nigerian standard, the more IGR a state generates, the more they squander the money, the more frivolous and outlandish their lifestyle. You see things like buying air fresheners for the governor's office, worth millions of naira. You see things like buying hand fans, refrigerators, and many other items that are worth over 2 billion naira. This is coming from the budget of Lagos State government. So you can understand they never account for every penny. Despite all the revenue that Obaseki generates in Edo State, he still hops around in a helicopter. So the average Nigerian politician never tries to micromanage the situation, even as a family man or a business owner. Once you notice that your expenditure or cost is almost at 100% of your revenue, you must try to do what? Reduce your expenditure and cost so as to stay in business. It's very simple. If you don't do that, very soon you will be out of business. It's a wonder that political office holders never consider this, because they know that it is the people's money. They can do whatever they like. No repercussions. Nobody will hold them to account. That's why they borrow into the future. The next generation will pay all the debts. They don't care. They don't care if the people are poor. All they want is more revenue, more taxes, tax everything. Like the current governors are taxing their people to death. But we all know you can't tax poor people. You must have to, first of all, create an enabling environment for your people to be employed, for businesses to thrive, before you come in and start taxing them. That's how it's done. If you start by looking for ways to tax the people more and generate more IGR without, first of all, creating the enabling environment for businesses to thrive, that will be tantamount to putting the cart before the horse. So what Asue Ighodalo should be thinking of is not how to generate IGR first. He should be thinking of how to manage the situation, manage the revenue that is available, reduce the cost of governance so that the government can give value to citizens of Edo State. That's the angle he should be looking at, not trying to tax poor people. How do you get more money from people who are already down? Many Nigerian politicians always like to say that Nigerians don't like paying taxes, but they never give account of the little taxes that are paid. If someone can't manage 1 billion naira and account for every penny, give that person 2 billion naira, there will still be stories. In fact, it has been proven in Nigeria that Nigeria doesn't have a revenue problem. It is a spending problem. The more money Nigerian politicians earn, the more they squander the money. An amount of money someone cannot spend in his personal capacity, even if the person is a billionaire, but the fact that he has become a governor, he will spend that money. They don't care. They move around in long motorcades, burning millions of naira in petrol alone. They travel around the country with large retinue of aides, doing nothing, just for answering, "Sir, I'm here. What do you want?" So all this, if they are able to cut down on the expenditure, the cost of running the government alone, they can now use that money to develop their state, just like Peter Obi did it when he was governor in Anambra State. He didn't create any tax burden on anyone. He didn't tax anyone to death. Rather, He was able to manage the situation. He not only gave a good account of himself, he managed the resources judiciously and ended up saving millions of dollars for Anambra people before he left as governor. So that is the way to go about it. The government must first of all invest into the people, invest in the economy, create jobs. Even if they don't create it directly by themselves, they have to create the enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Once businesses start thriving, that will create serious employment, and even if it is pay as you earn alone that they are collecting from the people, it's an increased IGR. IGR is never a measure of development, never. So it is nice that Asue Ighodalo is laying out his plans, telling people what he plans to implement if he is elected as the Edo State governor. This will make it easier for Edo people to make their choice during the election. Whether they want someone that will implement the aggressive tax drive that is being implemented in Lagos by Tinubu and the other governors after him, as ridiculous as it sounds, do you know that LASMA, a supposed agency responsible for traffic management, is being given a revenue target of 2.5 billion naira annually? It doesn't make any sense. How do you tell an agency that is responsible for controlling the traffic to generate revenue? So it means that the government is interested in the revenue, not in making sure that there is free flow of traffic. The LASMA people will go out of their way to seize vehicles at the slightest provocation, whether they committed the act or not. It just makes you understand the kind of aggressive tax drive that Ighodalo plans to implement in Edo State. Just like Olumide Akpata, the governorship candidate of the Labour Party, said in an X-Space, we covered that in a video. For those who didn't watch that, the link will be at the end of this video. He laid out his plans in that video, saying all that he plans to implement if he is elected. So we'll be covering this one by one. Next, we will cover that of the APC candidate, although he's not well known. But let's hear what his associate had to say in an interview on Arise TV.
First, Leo, thank you very much. As for Akpata, we were in one function. We were schoolmates. We graduated from University of Benin together. We went to law school, and he's very competent, qualified. But he's coming, I told him that day that it was anachronistic. That is the time for Edo Central. For Asue Ighodalo, I have seen him. We look at his antecedents. He continues to say, I will do. I will do. You cannot choose I will do over I have done this, I have done that, which Okpebholo is known for, and which are there on the ground. As for Ighodalo, I can tell you when he was chairman of Nigerian Breweries, that company experienced tremendous advancement in the reverse. When there was serious loss, huge loss of amount to the tune of over 11 billion naira. He ran it down. Again, he has been in government of Edo State. He has been the head of the economic team. He has also been the head of the kitchen cabinet. The failure of Obaseki, he's part and parcel of it. And he's a lawyer and very happy. He understands the Latin, Mazin, Nocito Asoshi, meaning a thing not from his associates. He has been with Obaseki, all the policies of Obaseki, all the words of Obaseki. Today, as we speak, Edo State is stranded like a ship on the high seas, rudderless.